Crucible. Main points to remember. In Act 1, the setting is in Reverend Paris's house. So Reverend Paris is sitting near to Betty. She is unconscious and bedridden. So Betty is Reverend Paris's daughter. And she was caught by Reverend Paris along with other girls who were practicing witchcraft. So Betty was caught yesterday by Reverend Paris for practicing witchcraft. So Reverend Paris is now waiting for Reverend Hale. Then Abigail threatens the girls' life to shut their mouth about the witch practice. So Abigail wants all the girls to shut their mouth about the witchcraft and about all those things that they have done in the woods. Then John Proctor comes to Betty's house and meets Abigail. There Abigail tries to seduce him and says that she still loves him. So Abigail was John Proctor's former mistress, so she was trying to seduce him and she wants to continue their relationship, but John Proctor was not interested in all those things. She blames Elizabeth for everything because she believes Elizabeth as one who ruined their relationship. So Elizabeth is John Proctor's wife. So what she wants to continue her relationship with John Proctor, and she also wants to eliminate Elizabeth from the life of John Proctor. Then John asks Abigail to forget him because he values his married life. So John regret about their relationship and John doesn't want to continue their relationship. So while hearing all these things, Abigail gets furious. So next Thomas Putnam and Anne Putnam comes there. Then at that time Betty becomes conscious and she reveals that Abigail drank the blood of chicken and she starts to scream. So she was dreaming or she was really afraid and she starts to scream while thinking of all those things that has happened in the woods. Then Thomas declared that she is screaming because of the activity of devils. So Thomas Putnam and Anne Putnam starts to believe about the witchcraft and all those activities of the devil. Then Reverend Hale came and questioned Abigail and Tituba. As I was told earlier, Reverend Paris was waiting for Reverend Hale. So Reverend Hale comes and questions these girls and he wants more evidence about witchcraft. Hale blames Tituba for practicing witchcraft. Abigail puts everything into the head of Tituba and she blames Tituba for the witchcraft and all those things that has happened in the woods. Tituba confesses that she was planning to kill Reverend Paris. So Tituba, out of fear and all those things, confessed about the things that has happened in the woods. Act 2 takes place after 8 days at the house of John Proctor. So John Proctor's house is a setting. And in Act 2, we can see the termination of John Proctor's and Abigail's relationship. And Proctor confessed everything to his wife. That is the relationship between Abigail and Proctor to his wife. Then Elizabeth tells him about the witch trial and all the arrests that has happened in their town. Elizabeth wants John to announce the truth behind Abigail and all her treachery. So Elizabeth is a very cunning girl and she is a fraud. So Elizabeth wants to reveal the truth. It is his duty to declare that Abigail is a fraud and the real culprit behind all the mistakes. Then many innocent people lost their life because of Abigail. So Abigail was blaming so many people for witchcraft and all these innocent people were arrested for no reason. Then Mary, a servant of John Proctor, was arrested for practicing witchcraft. She mentioned the name of Elizabeth in the court. So Mary was Elizabeth's servant and she was also with Abigail when they have done the witchcraft. Then Mary gives a puppet to Elizabeth with a pin pierced in its stomach. So Abigail falls down with a pain in her belly and blames Elizabeth as the one practicing witchcraft to kill her. So Abigail takes puppet as evidence of Elizabeth's witchcraft and blames her of practicing witchcraft. Actually, the puppet was made by Mary Warren, and that was gifted to Elizabeth by Mary Warren. So Elizabeth was innocent in this crime, and Reverend Hale comes and arrests Elizabeth. So Elizabeth was innocent, and Elizabeth was arrested of no reason. In Act 3, the trial begins. A deposition signed by 91 people are submitted to the court to free Elizabeth, Martha Corey, and Rebecca. So, this deposition was submitted by Proctor Gilles Corey and Francis Nurse, these ladies' husbands. And here we have Martha Corey along with 39 people were accused of witchcraft. So, all these people are arrested for witchcraft. Conflicts between Gilles Corey and Thomas Putnam. We can see they were having a conflict, some fight for the land and all those things. Then John brings Mary to confess that Elizabeth is innocent, and all those things about Abigail and their witchcraft and all those things that has happened in the woods. Then after that, Proctor confessed his relationship with Abigail. After that, Elizabeth denied the truth. So the judges asked Elizabeth about the truth about the relationship between Abigail and Proctor. Elizabeth denied it. Elizabeth wants to protect the name of her husband, so she denied it, and thus Proctor became a liar. Then Abigail comes and call Mary a liar. Abigail again started to play her fraudulent acts. Then Mary joins with Abigail. Mary blames Proctor for witchcraft, and thus they arrest Proctor. So Proctor was also arrested for no reason. In Act 4, Abigail and Mary stole Paris's money and escaped from the town. People revolted against the trial. So people are having some ideas, some real ideas about all those things that are happening in their town, and they started to revolt against all those things. Elizabeth was freed because she was pregnant, and John Proctor and Rebecca Nurse were hanged. So this is the end of the play. So at last, John Proctor and Rebecca Nurse were hanged because they were not ready to confess witchcraft. Actually, these people were innocent. They think that death is more acceptable than to tell a lie. So they doesn't want a life by telling lies. They want a life to be truthful to each other. They do not want a life in which they are seen as liars or devil worshippers in the eyes of all the other townspeople. They doesn't want that. So they want a life that is truthful and that is dedicated to God, and that's why they denied all those things. They were not ready to confess, and thus they accepted death as its price.